Hellboy.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Mr. Hat, and today we're going over Hellboy, which was directed by Neal Marshall, who brought us The Descent in 2005, and stars Ian McShane and David Harbour from The Stranger Things and Equalizer and A Walk Among the Tombstones. Both movies that I've reviewed before on this channel, so if you want to check them out, go ahead. But this is a reboot, remake of a movie that just came out, 15 years ago? Like in 2005, 6 or something, and then the second one came out in like 2008. There was a third movie that was supposed to be made, but then they just scrapped it and decided to reboot it because this is the age of reboots. And after watching this movie, I think I would have preferred just a sequel and not this. If you're looking for a plot synopsis, this movie is just about a Hellboy who needs to stop this evil sorceress played by Mila Jovovich or whatever her name is from the Resident Evil series. I've never seen a single entry in that series because I know it's shit. I've been told it's shit, and I'm going to avoid shit as long as I can. But he just needs to stop her, otherwise she's going to bring about hell on earth, and hell on earth is going to kill everybody. Everybody's going to die, so there's a lot of stakes. Simple, very, very simple, save the world type of scenario plot. We've seen it a million times, but is there anything good about this movie? Yes, there is one thing that I really did enjoy about this movie, besides the lint on my face. You ever hate that when you get like lint on your fucking like hat and it's like blocking your vision? That's what I got going on right now. Alright, the one good thing I did like about this movie was that there was gore. And that was another thing that probably helped me want to go see this, because the first two were PG-13, was that I was promised that this one was going to be like a lot more bloodier. And it does deliver. Granted, it's CGI blood, but there were some practicals in this movie, like practical effects. There's lots of like bodies strewn about, intestines, and just heads crushed, ripped off. Like, there is some Victor Crowley type shit in this movie. So if you're a gorehound, you're gonna get some nice Cornish candy thrown your way. Other than that, there's really nothing else to be entertained by at all in this movie. It's 2 hours long, and it's not even that fun. Like, this movie just tries to cram. This is the negatives. This movie just tries to just cram as much interesting, weird shit in your face throughout the whole movie that it just gets boring after a while. Usually, movies have what I call, hills and valleys. I think that's not my term. I'm not coining it, but hills and valleys. Like the slow moments and then the awesome moments. But this movie just tries to skip the valleys and just go for the hills the whole fucking movie. It's like every scene, it's just like, let's skip to the next big thing. So I feel like this movie like had some like valleys, and they just edited it all out, and it's just like, all right, next big scene. And like, they jump from place to place all over the place, like an instant. Like, they're all the way to the middle of fucking nowhere. Now they're at their home base in England. Like, how long did it take for them to get there? In this movie, at the beginning, it just like force feeds all this exposition and like story to you, but it does it for like 35 minutes straight. Like, there's just all this story being fed to you, and there's narration, and I hate narration in movies, period. I don't know, it's just, I don't like it. This movie makes me feel like they think I'm stupid or something. Like, just keep, and like, not only are they just constantly like spoon feeding you story, but then they'll give you extra like flashbacks and backstories to like shit that's not even important. Like, things that could have been explained in like one sentence. Like, this guy doesn't like me because I did this, and then we get like this flashback to explain. It's like, I don't need that. It's just eating up time. One thing that probably pissed people off about this movie is that, I mean, I don't know, I'm just guessing, that we didn't get the original actor who played Hellboy in the first two. We got David Harbour this time, and David Harbour is okay. But this movie was also sold to be like a comedy. Like, if you watch the trailer, they show you like the three like main funny things in the movie, and none of it lands. It didn't land in the trailer. It didn't land when I watched it, and nothing was funny. I didn't hear anybody laugh in the theater. This movie was not comical in any good way. I'm starting to notice this weird like Nazi trend where like everything's just like, oh, the Nazis were trying this, not the Nazis were trying that. Am I just seeing things? I feel like every like video game or movie is all trying to like, well, now the Nazis were trying to do this to win the war. The Nazis were doing this to win the war. I feel like I'm seeing it everywhere now. Apparently the Nazis wanted to make Hellboy. Spoiler, maybe not. This is probably in the first one that this is remaking. But the Nazis were trying to use demons, I guess, now? Just weird. And what the fuck was up with the 3D glasses that guy was wearing? And then you got the Sandman from Spider-Man 3 that just swoops in out of nowhere. It's all corny as shit. The dialogue is horrendous. Like, the voices that these demons put on, just the way they talk. It just feels like it was like made for children, but then there's blood and shit everywhere. Like, oh, I guess not. And this movie just has so much horrendous CGI. Like, over 50% of this movie is like CGI, like monsters everywhere. It's just so horrendous. It was almost on that level of like Van Helsing, like that bad. And then, I mean, you got this fucking like pig guy, and this is just lazy writing. Like, how do you explain this? Spoiler, I guess, but it's gonna be very quick. He rips the guy's jaw off, and then, because he needs this guy who has a vow of silence, he's a man of God, he needs his voice to open up this box, so therefore he rips his jaw off, eats it, and then is able to sound like this guy, like he's a ventriloquist or something. That's just lazy writing. Like, we need to get this box open. Just make the guy fucking do it. Write that in there. Like, okay, he caves in, he opens it. Not, we need some extra gore, but fuck it. We'll do it for the sake of looking like terrible writers. Am I really supposed to believe that Hellboy couldn't take out these 6 middle-aged men? Really? Who are wearing these god-awful costumes for some fucking reason? It's just like they're a cult. That's the way they dress up. They look like King Arthur. They're dressing up like a knight in shiny armor for some reason. But they take him down, like, immediately, and he can't do shit. He kills, like, one. And then when he wakes up, he immediately takes out 3 giants in, like, a minute. It's just like, that was no problem taking out 3 giant monsters. But these 6 middle-aged guys who haven't worked out a day in their life, they took you out like that. Seriously, get the fuck out of here. But yeah, I was just very underwhelmed by this movie. I was told this movie was bad from a lot of people, and that's why I waited a few days to see it. I saw it on cheap day today, so I was gonna see it Friday, I was gonna see it Saturday, but I overslept, and I was like, whatever, I heard it's bad, I'm not gonna waste too much money on it. But I caved in today. I went to go see it because I wanted to see if it was true how bad it was. It's not terrible. It's like guilty pleasure fun in some moments, but overall it's just like, really, why is this happening? Like I said, I just feel like there's something there and they just edited it out. Like, I heard this movie was just like, you know, the director had his vision, and then producers and studio heads, and that's what happens when that shit's going on behind the scenes. You always get a bad movie all the time, and this is just another example of when studio heads and directors have conflicting ideas, and therefore we just got this fucking like movie that just tries to be as action-packed and zany, and it doesn't work. It does not work for me. The only thing I can enjoy from this film is the gore. It's somewhat fun. So I guess maybe for guilty pleasure fun, when it comes to Hellboy, maybe if you know who you are, just check this one out at Redbox. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Hellboy. Were you underwhelmed like me? Some people are saying this is the worst movie of 2019 so far. I wouldn't go that far. I've seen some pretty bad ones. Serenity, that was terrible. Let me know what you thought about this movie in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining tonight, and if you want to subscribe, you can do so just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds to see more. And until next time, I'll be the same.